He travels around the world volunteering his time to speak to underserved youth about how they can forge their own paths to success. So we're happy to have an entrepreneur and philanthropist, Joseph Azam, with us today. Welcome to the show.
To understand who I am, you have to understand where I come from. I'm the only son of two immigrant parents. As a young child, I grew up quite poor. We struggled all the time. We had to go on welfare. We had our electricity shut off. And at 10 years old, I actually had my first job selling jeans at a flea market. One thing that I struggled with quite a bit when I was younger was, who am I as a person? Because I was a first generation Canadian, I didn't really fit in with other Canadians. My father comes from Afghanistan, but I wasn't really Afghan. My mother comes from Israel, but I wasn't really Jewish. I grew up in a French-speaking area when I'm English. I always struggled with who I was and always looked for a group of peers that I can actually connect with. What really defined me is my ability to emotionally connect with others. As I actually started my adult career, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be successful in business. And fast forward 15 years later, I have an extremely successful international digital marketing agency. I have investments in restaurants, and a huge chunk of what I am as a person and who I am is the philanthropy that I am committed to. In the past year alone, I've spoken in cities from Hilo, Hawaii, all the way to London, England. I've spoken to gang members, kids in juvenile detention centers. I've spoken in prisons. I've spoken in Fortune 500 companies. And the strategies and the techniques that I've used are exactly the same. The same way I connect with the young kid in the south side of Chicago is the same way that I'll connect with the Fortune 500 company CEO in New York. If they are daydreaming about becoming a successful business person, if they're daydreaming because they want to become an athlete or a coach or a mentor or a phenomenal teacher or a speaker that gets standing ovations around the world, then they need to put things in place to achieve those goals. They need to break through those emotional barriers, and they need to build up their EQ. Can you get people to like you and gravitate you so you can influence them potentially in a positive way? To become that person that is a leader in the community, a leader in your business, a leader in your field of work, you need to be able to establish strong emotional connections with people. And EQ is very different than IQ in the sense that with a very strong EQ, you can motivate tens of thousands, if not even millions of people. And it is a skill set that you can develop and practice and build over a long period of time. I always say anybody that is able to step outside of their comfort zone and be able to still create influence in a positive way are people that will eventually change the world.